my pursuit of book writing pre-2020, pre-CPTSD, was my trauma salvation fantasy.
Okay.
I'm glad I said that out loud. I've thought that, but I've never said that out loud. And so since I've known that subconsciously for a while now, then every time I try to write, I'm like, no, I'm not going to go back to my salvation fantasy.
Okay. So
I sabotage the writing so that I can grow, but I actually do want to write.
So explain to us a little bit more about the salvation fantasy.
Right. So
what does that look like?
Whenever you're traumatized, whenever you have some form of deep wound, especially from childhood, but this can happen to you in adulthood as well. When you have a psychological pain, what you want is for it to go away.
Yeah.
You want to fix it. And so, because generally you're not capable of knowing where it came from necessarily, because we're good at justifying ourselves in our past, you make up a quest in the belief that if I succeed in this quest, the pain will go away. This is why people go woke politics and go crazy with their social blah, 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 social justice warrior. They're trying to fix their pain through a quest. This is why people go MAGA as well. In like the hardcore, full-end, Trump or die approach. Okay. This is why people find themselves in relationships that are just like the relationship they didn't have with their father or their mother, and they end up trying to compel that relationship to work even when it's the same unfunctional relationship that they came from in the past, right? And you can read a lot into that, but why do children of alcoholics end up as alcoholics or marrying alcoholics, unless they very intentionally try not to, right? Which some do. That's less of a salvation fantasy and more of a coming to terms with what my actual battle is, which is why, since my salvation fantasy was, if I can be a famous author, then my family will love me the way I wanted them to.
Okay.
Then maybe I need to not try to be a famous author and be okay just being who I am.
Yeah.
Feeling unloved, but knowing I'm loved by God, knowing I'm loved by the family I have now. And every time, so for me, the trying to write a book format or habit goes back into the old pattern of thinking.
Okay.
So again, I was trying to explain Salvation Quest. So, CPTSD is like many other things. So I cannot say that everyone is just like this. But with CPTSD specifically, what you really want is to find a way to not have CPTSD. You want to say, if I just do enough of this,
you want to beat it,
then I'll never have a flashback again.
Yeah.
And the more you see flashbacks for what they are and see the pain it causes to those around you, the more you want that.
Okay.
But there's no unwinding the wires in the soul. But the salvation fantasy is to say, yes, there is, and it'll be like this, and it'll be like this. I'll do this, and you try to convince yourself you're not who you are, and you're the hero who did it differently. You're the hero who made it, and that can take a million different forms. Everyone's got their own context. There's different layers of this. I mean, someone who's got bipolar, same thing, right? I don't need my medicine anymore. I'm better now, right? That's the salvation fantasy. And Walker, Peter Walker, in his book on CPTSD, which has its flaws but is also very, very illuminating, is really, really strong-armed on this, saying just you need to abandon the salvation myth. You have to abandon it and accept what you really are.
Yeah.
If you're going to then handle it when it shows up. So to handle the flashback when it shows up, you must expect that the flashback will show up again.
Right.
Anyway, so that's that's the salvation myth thing. Somehow wrapped up in all of that, for me, the incessant need to produce, which included YouTube as well, but to publish books, to die with 80 books to my name or whatever my dream was, is wrapped up in that. Mm-hmm. And so as I've kind of found that there, it's made all those things like kind of disgusting to me.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Like I don't want to be there because it just pulls me back into that false dream that I've just kind of freed myself from. Mm-hmm. But here's the dilemma is I really am a writer. Like I am. I love it. If I don't do it, I feel worse. Mm-hmm. If I write, I feel better. Hence, like I wrote this stupid little, it's not stupid. I wrote this short little ditty about my own struggle over 2 years to discover that I need to write. And it felt so good just to write it and then be done and let it go off into the aether and, 39 views. Who cares? Thank you. I care that you 39 care, but like it isn't the New York Times bestsellers list. It's not millions of, I'm no Jordan Peterson, and that's who I'm supposed to be, right? Because I'm watching the internet too, and I'm supposed to be Jordan Peterson. I'm supposed to be Ben Shapiro. I'm supposed to be up there with, all this power and glory and fame and fortune and everyone listening to me. And I'm not going to be, and I don't need to be. I can just write for you 39 people that care about what I wrote, mm-hmm. and be glad that you read it. And I don't have to prove anything, right? That's the salvation myth again. I have to, they need to prove. So, that was a lot. I just dumped. Do you want to comment on
I
that?
appreciate that you shared what salvation myth is, because that's something that I think that when you're going through a trial like this, you might have those types of words or phrases that other people don't always understand. And so it's good to have that explanation.